Hello, and welcome to Beyond the Point podcast with me, Allie Christensen. I'm curating the content I wish I had had as a dancer and creating strong, healthy, thriving dancers for the future. Not only am I your host and ex-professional dancer, but I own Align Fitness, a cross-training studio for dancers here in Costa Mesa, California, and am the creator of online courses for dancers such as the Dancer Strong program, Lower Body Flexibility, and Turnout for Dancers. Welcome back not only to the podcast, but to a new year. We have made it. In the past, we have talked about goal setting, and something that I don't love about our, society is that we value January 1st really highly. Like, it is the only time that you can set goals and that you are accountable for them. And it's the only time for transformation, which I absolutely do not agree with. The whole year is a time. Anytime you choose to make a change, that's the moment. That's your January 1st, if we're looking at it that way. So I personally have started looking at December as kind of my new year of what do I want to accomplish. I don't hold a lot of value in New Year's resolutions because I feel like they just set me up to fail because of the grandiose ideas that we have created for ourselves in the world. Now, that being said, if you are a New Year's resolution person, I applaud you. And I think that setting goals, if you've listened to any of my podcasts or anything that I follow or follow along on Instagram, goals are so important. I've spent many episodes talking about goals, and there's actually a whole episode on how I set goals with my dancers, if you want to check that out, as we are coming into the new year here. But today, I wanted to talk about what I feel is very important in setting up our habits, and more specifically, how we set up our week. This last year, with the chaos of the world, with being in and out of the studios, in person and Zoom, quite literally never knowing what's going to happen the next day, something that became really important to my dancers was creating habits, creating a system that for them would assist them to keep some regularity and a system to keep moving forward with their goals as things were ever changing. So as their year solidified and their habits in different varieties started to really take form, I asked dancers what the most helpful things that we worked on or talked about with their week, what were the most helpful things for them? So what I'm going to share today are some of the most helpful things that they and I have come up with to create a successful, thriving week. Now, when we are setting up the way a week looks or anyone's goals, always remember that my goals are going to be different than yours, than your neighbors. And what works for me does not mean it has to work for you. Take the spirit of this episode and start thinking about what the things are that make you feel successful during the week. I think you'll understand a little bit more as we dive in. So for me, my busiest day, or where I start off my week right now, is on a Monday. But for me, that means Sunday is my prep day. And I think that having a prep day is vital to success during the week. Now, for everyone, this is going to look a little bit different, but there are 3 components that I think everyone needs to think about, and they're going to look a little different for everyone. But here's what I believe and see with my dancers. One is your mental preparation. Sunday, or the day before your week starts, is a day of mental preparation. And that can look really different for everyone. For me, I would consider myself an introvert. Now, when I say an introvert, I mean that the way I fill up my cup is by alone time, is by being by myself. So especially when we have a weekend full of things, and then I go right into a Monday without taking a mental preparation of alone time and grounding myself and maybe doing something for myself, I just feel like I'm running on the E in the gas tank, and it is not good. And I have done that for so long until I finally made the commitment to myself that Sunday is my day. And that means that I don't say yes to almost anything, quite honestly. Friday, if you want to do something with me in real life, it's Friday or Saturday, and Sunday is me. Now I have friends who are very much fill their cup by being with people, by socializing, by getting out and doing things. So if you're that person, Sunday can be that day for you. But I think that there's a lot of people pleasing in our world. And speaking as one of them, saying yes to things that may not serve the rest of your week. And it's only a momentary gratification, or I'm doing it for somebody else. I really work to, well, in general in life, keep that in mind. And is this what I actually need or want to do? But especially on my Sunday, if you ask me to do something, most of the time the answer is going to be no. Now, Sundays are also my food. So number 2 of that Sunday would be food prep. And you have maybe a love-hate relationship with food prep. I have definitely swung on the pendulum. And to be honest, it looks different in different seasons of life. It has in the past looked like a full week of like intense food prep where I know what I'm eating for lunch and dinner for multiple nights during the week. And right now it looks like I make the same meal Sundays for my Monday evening because I get home really late on Mondays. So does my boyfriend. We don't want to cook. So we make the same chicken, potatoes, and vegetables for probably a year now. And that may not work for everyone, but for us, for me right now, that really works. I know that it's a good reheated meal and it's really easy to make, and I can make it in mass, and then I can make some extra things throughout the week. So this is going to look different for everyone. Another thing that I think food prep can mean is just making sure that you actually have things in your house that you are going to want to eat. We've all been there where you get home from your day or from dance and you're starving and you're like, oh, there's nothing for me to eat. There's nothing for me to eat. What am I going to do? And I think that kind of that freak out that can happen, even if it's mild. Also, that's when we make food choices that we know don't support our body, is when we're in that like grasping for whatever's left in the house or whatever I can order. So just being prepared. And that being said, as I said, order food. There's nothing wrong with ordering food, and there's nothing wrong with eating foods that you feel drawn to. Being prepared means more than just making a meal. It means having those things in your house. So Sunday I go to the grocery store, and most of the time I do by myself and I keep the food in the house so that I know I'm going to have it. Third on my Sunday night prep is sleep. That's something that let's all hope we're sleeping all through the week, but I really value and encourage you to value that time that you need to be in bed, that time, knowing how much sleep you need. That's going to be different for everyone. And I will say that I grew up in a family that slept very little, that were extremely go-getters, highly productive. And I think unconsciously valued, oh, I only got this much sleep because I was so busy. I need 9 hours of sleep. Hand raised, 9 hours, guys. And that was really hard for me to actually accept, which sounds kind of silly now as I feel so good and my body does so well. But what that has meant is that if I have to get up early, which I do, that means I have to go to bed early. So if you guys know me in real life, I always say, if you ask me to do something during the day, I am game to do anything. But if you ask me to go out at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, it's not that I can't or I don't want to, but my sleep is so valuable to me because I know how my body feels. I know what my week looks like. I'm extremely busy. Most of us are. And when I don't get the sleep that my body needs, my mental state suffers. I get sick. I don't feel well. And I'm prioritizing my body feeling well so that I can give and assist and be in the world that I want to be in. So knowing how much sleep you need is vital to our preparation. And remember, everyone's going to be different. My boyfriend needs 7 hours of sleep. I wish I needed 7 hours of sleep, but I have lived the life where I have gotten 7 hours consistently and I'm tired during the day. My brain is not functioning properly. And then by the time I get to the weekend where I do get a break, I'm exhausted. When I get a good amount of sleep, and of course there's other factors to that, but when I'm consistently getting my sleep through the week, I'm feeling okay by the time the weekend comes and I don't feel completely drained because my body isn't functioning. So know how much sleep you need. Be committed to getting that much sleep. And it takes commitment. I am not saying that it's easy. I think this might be one of the hardest things for especially maybe women, because we tend to be very busy. I also think that there is a standard that we need to be a certain amount of busy or prove to ourselves or the world, which is so not true. Your amount of success based on how much sleep you don't get or how late you were up trying to get things done. It's a priority. And I'm not saying it's easy, but starting now, I will start to create the habit that gives your week a nice tone to the whole thing. So moving on to our second aspect of a thriving week. A while ago, maybe a few years ago, I implemented with a dancer the idea that the first day of her week, which we're calling Monday, depending on who you are and what your job is, on Monday, she was going to do something that got her moving in not a dancing way. Because we know that cross training is important. We know that our body feels well doing other things besides dance, and maybe even mostly because you don't have to be so focused and mentally intense when you're doing something other than dance. So I think for her, that was going for a 30-minute walk. It was not like she had to go to the gym or take a spin class or hike Mount Everest or whatever it is. It was just being committed to doing something. I love this. And I am not the best at this, especially as my work schedule gets more intense on Mondays, kind of ebb and flow. But I can absolutely testify that taking the extra time on a Monday to start my week off by doing some type of physical movement or exercise really does set me up to want to do more during the week. And it does not have to be intense. Please don't go out and think you have to spend 2 hours, but commit to do something that gets you moving and inspires you to do more during the week. I promise it will set you up to be more apt to do more things during the week and have the energy to do them. I think when we delay that workout or private or exercise, whatever it is, when you delay it throughout the week, it becomes heavy on us. Like, oh, I didn't do it yet. I should have. I haven't done it yet. I should have. And should haves are crap. So just get it done. Be committed to get it done, even if it's not exactly what you wanted. Make your Mondays a movement day for yourself. Now, number 3 is our rest days. Hi, guys. I know you've heard me say rest days so often. They're vital to our success. Absolutely 1,000% must be taken. So planning out your rest days, that's the only way you're going to do them if you plan them. And this whole episode is about planning your week so you can thrive in the things you want to do. If I had my way, a dancer who was dancing intensely would get 2 to 3 days off during the week, but 2 is probably more doable. This one's a little bit of a fine line because it really does depend on what you're doing and what the amount of energy and output that you're producing on the activity. So some people, when they do a rest day, for them, that means they take a Pilates class. And for some people, I don't recommend that. Even that is a lot, not even that is a lot. Pilates or gyrotonic, it is a lot. But for some people, it feels really good on their body. It's really restful. They just do that. They take it easy. That class is not going to be in their mind the thing that is like pushing them over the edge of technique. It's just an easy flow of movement for them. So a rest day should be something that leaves you feeling energized and also calm. I think a rest day is a great day to take a walk, something simple. It's not with the idea of intense exercise. It's enjoyment. That's what a rest day should be, is something that you enjoy. Number 4 is combining two things, I believe. One is the physical aspect and then also the mental aspect. I want people to be doing 2 to 4 days of other things besides dance. Now, I realize some of you are like, how am I going to fit that in, Allie? I know. I said 2 to 4. And I'm not asking you to be excellent at something else. I think that that's a huge misunderstanding in the athletic world, but especially in the dance world, because we don't do other things. Other athletes, especially at like college and high school age, you do something, you do basketball during this season, then you do football during this season. So there is naturally this crossover of cross training. You're doing different forms of movement. Dance is not that way. We just go 100% of the year. There is no break. So we kind of have a different mentality with that, but 2 to 4 days of something other than dance. That could be going on walks. That could be lifting weights. That could be playing a sport. That could be going out in your driveway and shooting the basketball for 20 minutes with a friend or your kid. That could be taking a spinning class. That could be swimming. That could be skiing. It doesn't have to look like I'm going to exercise, but it's something that gets your heart pumping and your body moving that hopefully you enjoy. 2 to 4 days a week. It will make a huge difference in the way that your body feels. Now, these things are mixing together. So start to realize that as we're making this list, it's not adding more things. I said Mondays are a movement day. So one of your 2 to 4 workouts or ideas of movement are happening on that day. You have 2 rest days. So already there, we can fit those in perfectly. I'm not asking for outstanding amounts of work. I'm starting to look at my week and saying, am I creating a well-rounded week for my body? That's all I'm asking. It's not that you have to do all these insane things. It's that you are being intentional about your time and how you're using your body and your mental capacity. Now, number 5, we're going to end on cross training, of course, because we can't not talk about cross training here. Now, I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make in their home routines is they spend too much time multitasking. So what does that mean to me? I have had multiple dancers, and maybe I've just been more aware of it in the last year or so, but these dancers who come in and they have hour-plus stretching routines, which there's nothing wrong with doing an hour-plus stretching routine, but nobody has time for an hour-plus stretching routine every single day of the week. And nor do you need to have that much time stretching. But what was happening was, one, exercises were not the best. I don't know how else to say that. Say it nicely. They weren't the best. So there's always the ability to tailor exercises. What's one reason people come in and have privates, because they want to condense and make sure that they're doing things that are actually making a difference. For example, I have this young dancer. She's 15. She's working very hard to be a ballerina. She came in and was saying, I'm staying up till midnight stretching and doing things. And there were 2 things that were happening. One was her exercises were just not the best. There's no other way to say it. So she showed me what she was doing. And I then showed her 3 exercises, guys. And we did them in 7 minutes. We set the timer. And she said on her own, I feel more flexible than I do after I do this hour-plus stretch routine. So the exercises matter. And we cut her hour-plus down to 7 minutes. Now, there's going to be other things that she should be focusing on. But as far as the stretch routine that she was doing, we went from 70 minutes to 7 minutes. Now, the second thing, and this is what I actually really want to touch on, is the multitasking, or the mental state of multitasking. How many of us watch TV, Instagram, TikToks? We listen to audiobooks, maybe even music while you're doing your stretching routine or workout thing. Now, music is kind of fine for me. Maybe that's a personal thing, but I feel like that's just kind of in the background. But if you're watching TikTok, Instagrams, movies, you are not focused on your body. You are mentally multitasking. I promise you can get more done, be more efficient and feel a better change in your body by just focusing on your body for 10 to 20 minutes. That's all you have to do. If you can have a stretching routine, 10 to 20 minutes instead of an hour plus where your brain is multitasking, you will feel such a big difference. Then you can go watch TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, movies, and actually enjoy it. Stop multitasking. I want you to go and relax. I believe it's important. I believe it's a must, but you will get more out of your work time and your relaxing time if you can separate those. So make your stretching times shorter with the right exercises, and then put away the distractions, lock yourself in your bedroom, in the closet, whatever you need to do, set the timer, tell the people in your household, I will be out in 15 minutes. Do not knock on the door. 15 minutes. That's all I need. And get your stuff done in that shorter amount of time. So those are the 5 top recommendations that have proven to be successful in assisting dancers to reach their goals and feel healthy and rejuvenated and ready to take on their week. There are a million things that could be done. There are so many things we didn't even really touch on today as far as making your body feel well, but that's not really the purpose of today's Allie rant. This is about looking at your timing, your thoughts of where you're putting things. Are you thinking about the whole week, or are you just going day by day and kind of feeling like you're just treading water, trying to stay above because there has been no planning or not good planning? All spoken from experience. I've been there. And I've watched my dancers do that treading water, trying to stay above no matter what level or point in life they're in. This idea is that you create some time and nuggets for whatever fits into your schedule. You find, what do you need the day before your busiest day? What do you need? Do you need to see people? Do you not need to see people? Do you need an hour locked in the bathroom in the bathtub? Or do you need to go out for a run? What do you need to do to feel prepared for your week? Do you need to grocery shop? The answer is yes. And what are you going to do about your sleep patterns to assist you to feel good through the whole week? You're going to move on a Monday. You're going to make sure that you're actually getting some rest days in during the week where it is absolutely 100% Allie stamped approved, not just Allie, the science, dance, athletic community says that we have to have rest days. So you're going to find those rest days. You're going to find 2 to 4 other activities throughout your week. They don't have to be long. They just have to be something besides dance, walk around the block 5 times, run up and down the stairs, take your dog out and go throw the Frisbee. It all counts. Do something other than dance. And then find your long stretch times. Let's bring them down to 10 to 20 minutes. You're going to do this by eliminating distractions, by locking yourself in the bedroom if needed. Don't bring your phone in, whatever you need to do, get rid of the distractions that you are creating for yourself and find a stretch routine that is consistent, but not crazy long. Now, of course, if anybody wants assistance in tailoring something specific for them, whether that be a stretching routine or talking about different practices in their life, this is something that I can assist you with. We can do this via Zoom. We can do it in person. We can do one session to create a plan for yourself, or we can be working together more regularly, whatever floats your boat. But I think after this 2 crazy years, and honestly, even though these 2 years have been just absolutely insane and never could I have dreamt up what we've all been going through, I think life was crazy before that. It's a different type of crazy, but I've always felt pressed for time. I've always felt like I should be doing other things. I've always thought that my week felt too short and then too long at the same time. These are all things that happened before the craziness of the last 2 years. And I think that this 2 years has really assisted me to see in my own schedule, and then also the way my dancers are working. Are we making choices that are filling our cups and helping us for the next week? Because we have that bank account analogy. I know I've said it a couple times. You are trying to make deposits of habits and movements that push your bank account higher. So we're getting up into the millions, hopefully, with our bank account. But we all have things that are withdrawals, that are taking away, and that is natural. But when you start to feel tired, depleted, or hurt, you have dropped below zero. We have to do enough things that when you take a withdrawal, when you do a movement, when you don't get a good night's sleep, when you eat something that doesn't make you feel good, you don't drop below zero. That's looking long term. We can't look day to day like that. You will hover around zero. I have done that for many years. If you hover around zero, you just up and down, sick and injured, don't feel well, mentally exhausted. That's the zero mark. If any of those are hitting, we're not making enough deposits that are bringing us up in our bank account. So our week prep, thriving, and making sure that we're looking a little bit more big picture about how our body is going to feel in all ways is what I'm hoping for you in this year. We're on to season 3. I can't believe that, or the full 3rd year of doing this podcast. And I'm really grateful for it. I'm really grateful for all of you. And every time I get a message from someone that says, oh, I heard this person talk, I heard the podcast, this sparked this thought, now I'm doing this. Every time I hear one of those, it makes me so happy. I get a big smile on my face, and it really is a normal occurrence that I'm smiling, looking at my phone, and the other people in the office are like, what are you smiling at, Allie? And I'm like, oh, just got a nice comment that things are changing. And that's what I want. That's what I want to hear. I want to see is the dance world is changing, and we're all changing with it. And we're being an active part of that community. So thank you so much. And every time that you do share my content, every time you recommend somebody to this podcast or to the Instagram account, you are facilitating change in the dance world. And I don't say that lightly. The what you view, the what you listen, the what you recommend makes a huge difference, and is a really easy way for all of us to be promoting change in this beautifully crazy dance world. So if you'd like to leave a review, you can find a spot for that if you are listening on Apple Podcasts. If you are on other things like Google Play or Spotify, they do not have a place as of recording this to leave reviews, but you can, and I would greatly appreciate if you Googled Align Fitness by Allie and you left a review saying the podcast episode that you liked right there on Google. That would mean the world. Reviews are amazing. They are the way that the dance world or anyone will find information on whatever topic they're doing. If you want to do something nice for someone that you like their content, like, comment, share, and review, and it's all free to you. So thank you so much, dancers. I'm so excited for another year with you. This is going to be a great one. I will see you all right back here next time on Beyond the Point.